Dear students, till now we talked about the head of the information system, about human. We talked about information. We talked about tools that we use to treat data, about the development of technology that enable us to communicate the data. We are ready now to discuss more about system. What is a system? A system is an organized group of interdependent components that work together according to certain principles or rules to achieve a goal. So, there is some components. We talk about an organization. So, as we see in the diagram, we have many components, but not isolated components. These components should interact. Each component has a role, and this role is related to the goal. So there is a task in the systems, and when every component does what he should do, we will achieve a goal. We can see that there is some boards around the components. It is not a physical boards, but we should distinguish the element. For example, if we talk about a university, even if there is no physical boards between a teacher and a student and someone from the outside of the university, we should pay attention to these differences. We should have some quality to precise who is in the system and who isn't in the system. And this component that is very important are independent. Everywhere around us there is a huge quantities of systems. In the nature there is very important systems from different size, from the size of the atom into the size of the galaxy. When we talk about biology or in the nature, we find a lot of systems. The cell itself, it is a very complex system. A flower, it is a very complex system. The goal, even if flower is beautiful, but the goal is to reproduce. When we talk about the body of the human, it is a system, and inside of this system there is a lot of subsystems, and all these subsystems cooperate together to maintain the life of the human. In our courses, we'll not talk about natural system, but we will talk more about artificial system and more about the systems that are related to the organization of the human. It is related more to enterprises and urban systems. It's not related to motors, but a motor in a car itself, it is a system. A car itself, it is a system. So, in a system, we should have the goal of the system, the components, the interrelations, the interactions. It is very important. Sometimes we pay attention to the components, but we don't pay attention to the relations between these components. If we want to design a system, we should define these relationships. In a city, for example, if you want to create an information system to manage the schools, we should know what happened in the schools in order to create the information system. It is not enough to say that the goal of the school is to educate, but we should understand what happened inside the schools in order to create the suitable information system. So, in a system, we should know the goal, the component, the interaction, the borders, as I said, and the interaction. There is two types of interaction: the internal interaction and the interaction with the environment. One of an important aspects in a system that the layers, the hierarchy. What does it mean? one component of our system, it may be a system. For example, in the biological system of a human, there is the digestive system. It is a subsystem in the human. Hierarchy is very important. It is fundamental in the civilization today because it permits the accumulation of systems. When we talk about subsystem, we talk about a module. For example, in programming languages, one important aspect is the possibility to write functions or procedures so we can isolate a part of the system and we can repeat it and we can pay attention to its tasks. When we talk about hierarchy, we talk about several levels. We talk, for example, in a human body about a cell, but we talk about also organ. We talk about another level. Also, from the organ, we go to as a digestive system, for example. And from the digestive system, we go to the human body. In the same way, we can see that in technology, there is many layers when we talk about communication protocol. When we talk about the protocol of the internet, there is many layers. When we talk about computers, for example, we can separate. We can talk about monitor, we can talk about hard disk, we can talk about microprocessors. All these systems make the computer. But if we go enter each component, we will see a lot of subsystems also. The hierarchy facilitates the management. So if you have a director, president of the university, he has also another layer. In each laboratory, in each school, there is also director. And in each school, in each department, there is also sub-director. So this type of hierarchy facilitates the management. It clarifies the responsibilities. So if we have a school and we have a department in this school and there is a problem somewhere, we can isolate this problem. We can say this department is responsible for this task. So it facilitates, clarifies the responsibilities. Hierarchy facilitates the maintenance. If you talk, for example, about hardware, if I have a problem in my computer, I can change only the battery perhaps, or I can change the system of the hard disk, I can change the system of the monitor. If we talk about a school, for example, we can say we have the system of education in a school. If there is a problem in this system, we can improve it. We can, instead of using the blackboard, we can use, for example, the internet. If we have defined really the subsystems, we can change one subsystem without changing the global system. And by the time, this allows the system to be augmented. For example, if we have a University of Lille 1, University of Lille 2, Lille 3, we can combine all these universities together one time to create the University of Lille. Talk about Polytechnic Lille, it is not really separated from other group. There is a group with a unified levels of evaluation. If we talk about the city, for example, if we talk about the system in the city, there is urban energy, and urban energy may contain also many systems, heating system, electricity system, etc. One important aspect of the system is the control. With a human system, there is always some control because we have some goals and we should verify that we achieve our goals or not. To do that, we need a feedback. What is a feedback? A feedback in an information system now, it is a data about the behavior. Each system, each system that is created by the human have a goals. Each system that is created by human, each system that is created by human has goals. And we need some information, some data from this system as a feedback in order to know if our system works well or not. And we need a control mechanism. Usually there is, as I said before, there is some manager, and this manager can verify from this feedback if our system is working well or not. So if we want to create an information system in our city, or to understand the information system, or ask somebody else to develop our information system, we should analyze this system, and we should understand who and how the system is being monitored. Question: what are the components of the transport system in a city, and what are the useful data related to these components? There is a lot of components in the transport system in the city. There is the vehicles, there is streets, there is signs, traffic lights, pedestrian, road police, traffic laws, etc. What are the borders of our system? Is the infrastructure of our light, of our streets, is a type of the borders? Yes, it may be, because we are limited by the infrastructure. We talk now about streets by two ways: by that street that will be used, the usability of the street, and the infrastructure of the street. We are also, one of the boards is the population and what is around our system. As I said, it is not necessary to be physical. Perhaps we are related also to the electrical network, because if you want to install some traffic lights, we should know the relationship between the outer system. Even if the electrical network is not a part of our system, but it is related. It is one of the main component in the environment. When we talk about environment here, it is not really the nature. It is what the component around our system with which we have some relationship. Telephone network, for example, if we see the highways, most of times there is some type of telephones. Is this network will be related to the network on the city, for example, or not? There is two types of networks for telephone. It depends. So for this reason, we should precise if it is one of the part of our environment or not. What type of information we can get from these elements? There is a lot of information. We should know what type of information we need from each component, about each component, in order to create our information system later. We have, for example, regarding the vehicles, we have the number plate. We have information about the car, registration document, for example, the color of the car. Is it important? Perhaps yes. The current vehicle location, so the place of the car is important. So there is two types of data. There is static data and dynamic data. About the street also, if we want to manage our transport system, we should know the name of the street, the location also. The crossing with other streets, we should know the location of buses in this street. We should know if there is metro station, and even we should know if the metro is a part of our transport system. We should give a lot of information about this metro, about the parking. We should know the location of signs. We should know about the location of traffic lights and the position of traffic lights. So always we should know what are the static data and what are the dynamic data of our system. And it depends also on the size of our system. For the conductors, for example, we should know the driver's license informations, the years of experience, the accident registers,